Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel for this special edition on the poll update for three states of Punjab, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh. We have a very feature-rich show today. We're going to share you region-wise breakup, age-wise breakup, and a lot of graphics that's going to be there. And to tell us all about it, let's welcome our guest, Sri JVC Sreeram of Jan Ki Baat. Sreeram, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaste, namaskar, vanakkam. My pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you on our channel, Sreeram. So we thought we're going to jump straight to the topic. We thought we'll start from left to right, from Punjab and then Uttarakhand and then of course UP. So with your permission, we can start putting up the slides. So how would you like to start? Do you have a preamble? After that, we can start the slides?
Anything is okay with me. I'm absolutely free. No, go by your style.
Yeah, go ahead, get started and we'll start introducing the slides. Please go ahead. So the Punjab is up now. Go ahead. Yeah.
The sample size is 10,000 and was held from November 21st and December 20th of by Jan Ki Baat, Pradeep Bhandari and the team of Jan Ki Baat had come out with this opinion poll. If you look at it, it covered everything. Even if you look at the age group, if you look at it, the predominant one is 35 to 45. This is a sample size of 10,000. Let's move ahead. So you get this various age group, whom all we have covered. So here is the seat share projection. It's going to be an Ang assembly is what Jan Ki Baat is calling, because the majority is 59 or 60 seats. And now you have AAP at 50 to 57, Congress at 40 to 46, Akali Dal at 16 to 21, and BJP.
I have one question.
It is 0 to 4. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it is both Captain Amarinder Singh and BJP. Even with Captain coming on board, it's only 0 to 4.
Yeah, exactly. See, because I think, it's Captain is age and the kind of support which he's getting right now is not amazing. Not a lot of people have joined Captain. There is speculation that Manish Tiwari could join very soon. But as of now, and the thing is, in Punjab, the flux is happening. Both in Punjab and in Goa, this is happening. Where somebody joins a party in the morning and in the afternoon, he goes and joins another party. And in the evening, he goes back and joins the original party from where he had come. I'll give you an example. Somebody from Akali Dal moves to BJP in the morning, and the same individual comes and joins in AAP in the afternoon, and in the night he goes back to Akali Dal. So that is the situation which is happening as far as Punjab. So considering it is going to be Ang assembly, and I'm not expecting the higher end for the AAP. It could be 50, around 50 is what is going to be AAP. Around 43, 45 would be the Congress. And I think probably as we move along, I could sense that although the opinion poll captures it as 16 to 21 for Akali Dal may pull up some better numbers than what you're seeing in this opinion poll. Why I'm saying it is because I'm saying it with authenticity, the fact that AAP may not have that kind of booth level management which Akali Dal would be having. Public sentiment is in favor of AAP. But booth level management, money power and muscle power, it rests with Congress and Akali Dal. So that edge could just come in, as a result of which the chances are opinion polls are always to be taken with a pinch of salt. We are moving towards an Ang assembly at Punjab. We can go into the vote share projection right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there is a clear 3% edge for AAP. Now, a 3% edge on a 4-pronged race or a 3-pronged race actually should give you a bigger seat conversion, which is not happening. And if you notice that, that's basically because of in certain areas, AAP is dominating, which is what would be evident as we move into the other slides. So the Akali Dal is the one which is concerning me, because they were supposed to have around, this is their core vote base. 20% is always their core vote base. So I don't know whether they're adding anymore. It looks like they're not adding anymore. BJP on the other hand, I would say 5% for BJP plus Captain. It's a good thing. Actually, it's a good thing. It could go up to 7 in the actual election. But this is what is coming out. And what we are seeing is, in elections, we need to keep in mind one important thing. As we are moving towards the election, Congress vote share is declining, which is what is a concerning and a worrisome thing. Because in the earlier opinion polls by C Voter or others, the Congress, consistently it is declining. So between now and election, how much of a decline it is going to be is another big question mark which you need to wait and watch. I think we
Thank
can
you
move
very
into
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sreeram, you can take your time. I mean, we want to do a fairly good coverage. I don't have any time limit unless you have time limit. Please go ahead, sir.
Because I want to come to the big one is the UP, the opinion opinion about the current state government. See, I think opinion about the current state government, it's a fairly an indication that the only bad is only 20%. Good is 25%, which is absolutely, I don't think Congress would be really worried looking at this particular thing, that average plus good is coming to around 80%, which means they're not actually unhappy. That's what they're saying. That's the reason why you are not seeing Akali Dal making that big progress, big leap. And this is probably a vote where they want to give a chance to a new party. It is a romantic idea. Mark my words, it's a romantic idea. Punjabis are known for that, or pretty famous for that. They think out of the box many a times. So they just probably fancy that, why not give a chance to Arvind Kejriwal's party? Now that's where it is moving towards. So there is no big anti-incumbency against the Congress. And that's what I would read this particular slide with. Can we move along to the next one?
Yeah.
Will the farmers' law affect the polls? So, see, this is the one thing which I cannot know. I don't know why this obsession with the farmers' bill, because it came, they protested, they had a lot of hangama over it, they made a scene, they made a drama, all that is accepted. But now that it is taken, and still they're saying, will it affect the polls? Yes, 70% saying still it is affecting the polls. And this is a factor which is going to go in favor of AAP. It should have, actually, if somebody is to be credited for the farmers' bill, farmers' law being revoked, it should be actually Amrinder Singh. Pushing it as far as BJP is concerned, but he is not reaping the benefits of what he sowed.
Sreeram, you're having a little bit of technical difficulties on your connection. So whenever I say this, that means I'm facing some difficulty or we are not able to hear you. So just, that there is a problem and I'll come in. But go ahead, please continue.
Yeah, you want me to shift my internet connectivity? I can do it in a or two, and then you can just
yeah, if you want to give it a shot, let's try that. You could go offline, try that, and come back in. In the meantime, I'll keep the audience occupied. Viewers, Sreeram is trying to get onto a new or a faster Wi-Fi, and as he does that, he'll be back in just a second. What we are doing is doing some coverage on the Jan Ki Baat poll that was conducted from the period 21st November to the 20th of December. And this has probably the first looks of what a Captain Amarinder BJP alliance looks like. So far, there appears to be not much to write home about. However, we'll have to wait and see. There is still time for the polls, still a couple of months. So we have to wait and see how that pans out. So here's Sreeram coming back. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I know you do that, but I'd like to see a lot more likes. Thank you very much. Back to Sreeram. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So as I think I just heard you saying that it is there are a few months to go. So the focus points on Punjab election, this is something which is pretty interesting because here the inflation is 20%, which is going to affect the common man. And I think that is a vote which is going towards the AAP. Is it development, or I would say lack of development? I think Punjab has not seen great development in the last 10 years. It is a given fact, which is also reflecting in the unemployment, which is around 20%. Now, neither the Akali Dal nor the Punjab Congress, government had actually addressed this drug issue in a big way, and that's around 10%. Now, when we talk about the education at 15%, because, see, if you look at it, Punjab election, the problems are the development, the unemployment, and the education. I think a few months back in your episode itself, I had mentioned that one of the leading industrialists closed down his, office at Batinda, and 700 people went jobless overnight. And he said, I cannot run it because you can't be protesting on a daily basis. So this is actually affected. So if you look at Punjab, Punjab is one state where when the COVID was affected, the mortality rate was very high in Punjab. That's the reason why hospitals are becoming an issue. Healthcare. If you look at, probably a state like Uttar Pradesh or Uttarakhand or even Goa, you will not have hospital as an issue or education as an issue. It is Punjab which has seen all these things. So overall, what a common Punjabi is feeling in the ground is that I would like to see a change because I have not seen Punjab progress. Punjab is actually a wealthy state, but it has not progressed. And he would say that probably both Congress and Akali Dal has not been able to deliver the aspirations of a common man. And this one slide is an indicator for it. Because it has failed in terms of employment, it has failed in terms of development, it has failed to control the drug menace where the police are also hand in glove in it, and there is not great healthcare facility, and the education has also been an issue. So all this is pointing towards a change, and that is the reason why AAP is making a steady progress. But can he deliver on those promises? Has he delivered on hospitals and education in Delhi? Big question mark. So
I have a question for you. I have a question for you. Let's just wait for on this slide. I have a question for you. Now, how much of a problem has drugs been across India? And if you were to take a straw poll guess, isn't Punjab one of the most drug affected states? Because I have a follow-up.
See, I think Punjab drug has been a problem from time immemorial. But Punjab has been bearing it has borne the brunt of it, particularly cross-border. Okay, drugs flowing in from Pakistan. So that's and it's a very, very sensitive state. Again and again, I'm reiterating, Punjab is a very sensitive state. It's a border state. And you can say that there are several states which are border states. Even Tamil Nadu has got a, sea border with Sri Lanka. But Punjab is a very sensitive thing. It's just a matter of, you can just walk through to Pakistan. So that kind of a state it is, as a result of which, it is a big, big thing. And Punjab, because many of the farmers that sold their lands before sat on cash, the kids didn't go for school, the kids were not getting educated. On the contrary, they got into recreational drugs, and which became a habit. Because I have a lot of my students who come from Punjab, because I do train a lot of chartered accountants on management skills and leadership. And I have a lot of people coming from Hisar, Batinda. I myself travel personally there. And I know for sure that Punjab has been affected by drugs. And Amrinder Singh came on the promise that he will eliminate drugs. But unfortunately, the government has not been able to deliver. Because it's a deep-rooted problem where even the government is involved.
My second question for you, Sreeram, is that, we have now established fairly reliably that COVID has a certain Darwinian edge to it, meaning it does affect more those people who have some problems. Now, is it possible that the drug-induced problems has in turn caused a high mortality rate in Punjab?
I guess so, because there is no scientific evidence or proof for that. But as I said, the mortality rates have been pretty high in Punjab, fundamentally because Punjab also has a lot of people who are obese. And obesity, people have been affected with COVID in a big manner. And that it's more to do with their lifestyle. And Punjabis have their own lifestyle, which you can't be critical of it, you can't be skeptical about it. I'm saying it as a matter of fact. It's a matter of fact that their lifestyle is something which probably affects, and so it causes vulnerability. So certainly, yes, I would tend to agree with what you're saying.
Thank you, sir. And let's get back to the presentation on Punjab, and you can finish up the slides.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, if you see the Malwa, I think we don't have to run through everything here because we don't have to go region specific. We can jump into the next one. Malwa is the one which delivered big time for Congress. So if you look at it, this time too, Malwa is doing they're not doing a bad job. It is in the other two regions where they're going a little problematic. So, but we need to look at where AAP is getting. AAP, where is it getting? So if we go to the next slide, we can so find out, because it looks like Malwa, Punjab, Congress is not losing very badly. Here you see. Again, because Malwa is a big region. So it's not that AAP is running away in Malwa. Because the gap is, if you see 31 to 34, there it's 20 to 26. So it's a neck and neck fight in Malwa. So Malwa, whoever decisively gets Malwa, because in 2017, Malwa voted heavily in favor of Amrinder Singh, if I'm right, and Captain and the Congress. So which is not happening. Let's look at, where is the Akali Dal, where is it doing well and where is it doing badly? Yeah, it is a total meltdown in all the region, but Malwa is where my eyes are. I think if Akali Dal had any chance of coming near the magic figure, it should have done well in Malwa, which it is not doing. 8 to 11 in Malwa. You can't win Punjab by winning just 10 or 11 seats in Malwa. You got to win at least 35 to 40 seats in Malwa if you have to form the government, which is not happening for any of the three parties. And where does the BJP get any seat? Is it getting any in Malwa? Yeah, you see here it's 2 in Malwa. Okay, it's spread out. But again, Malwa is again the important segment for Amrinder. If they are not pulling through in Malwa, this 4 also may be a problem. This 4 may be a problem. They may just end up with 1 or 2 seats. That's what I feel so at this point in time.
Is the city of Patiala in Malwa?
Yeah, I guess so. Amrinder, he comes from that particular region. Yes, it does.
Right.
It does.
Right.
So
OBC,
OBC votes are going with the AAP. So Congress is not getting OBC. I would like to see Dalit vote. Where is Dalit vote moving towards? Dalit vote. If Dalit votes are moving towards which is what we need to see in the coming slide. Let's look
Next
at
one,
the Jat Sikh. Yeah. Now this Jat Sikh, AAP is getting it. And Amrinder Singh should have got this Jat Sikh. Akali Dal is not getting in a big way. This is where who is going to be the CM candidate will determine the Jat Sikh. Because Badal and your Amrinder Singh should have got this Jat Sikh vote. I think this is going to determine if this figure is old, advantage Akali Dal. But if Jat Sikh moves a little bit further down, if some more shifts towards Akali Dal, then there is a chance for Akali Dal to, probably go up a little bit. Because Jat Sikh will not move big time to Congress. I will tell you the reason for it. The reason for it should be coming in the next slide. Okay, I'll give you the reason why, because that's where I'm going to look at these Dalit. Oh yeah, here you see the Congress is capturing the Dalit vote. Now, why is it capturing Dalit vote? Because first time they have a Dalit face. Channi is a Dalit face. Now, if you're going to get the Dalit vote, you're going to lose the Jat Sikh vote. That's the bottom line. So, if this holds true, then Congress is not becoming the single largest party. For the viewers' benefit, I'm saying. If this holds true, why? If they're getting 48% of the Sikh or the Dalit votes, then the converse is Jat vote, they're not going to get more than 25%. And the 25% Jat Sikh vote, you cannot form the government in Punjab. That's the writing on the wall is clear. Next
slide, please. Is that it?
I think Punjab is done. Yeah.
So just a couple of things to finish up this conversation.
Yeah.
It is very easy to drag down AAP. After all, Navjot Singh Sidhu was in discussions with AAP in the past. Now, all Congress and others have to say is that Navjot Singh Sidhu is in discussions with Arvind Kejriwal to be the face of AAP in Punjab. And then you can see mayhem.
Certainly yes, because I don't think Punjab is done yet. But to my knowledge, any of the parties forming a government on themselves by themselves is becoming a remote possibility hour by hour. I wouldn't even say day by day, it's becoming hour by hour. For a simple reason that AAP still does not have a chief ministerial face. And although Jan Ki Baat, I'm associated with Jan Ki Baat, so I do take responsibility of this vote, although I didn't participate in it on the ground. But let me tell you, a lot of people, including C Voter, in 2017 gave a prediction that AAP is winning, but it did not. So opinion polls, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. It gives us a direction. It doesn't decisively give you a seat share. Exit polls do give, but opinion polls do not give. It definitely gives you a direction. The direction of Punjab is it is going to be a young assembly, and who is going to form the government is going to be $1 million question. I hope from Punjab we move to Uttarakhand.
Yes, we will. And just to summarize what you just said, the AAP clearly looks to be in the lead. However, they do not have a CM face, which is why I was speculating that perhaps Navjot Singh Sidhu might be that. But then Arvind Kejriwal is a shrewd man. Even if he ends up becoming the chief minister, he won't play his card right now. That's how I see it. Let's move on to Uttarakhand. Thank you.
So this is going to be the election of this 2022. Now, let me start with that saying itself. Why am I saying it? Because it's going to be, we would say objects in the mirror or closer, whatever you say, the same way. It is a closer election than they appear. Now, you may call me a BJP supporter, you may call me a right wing and all those stuff, but let me tell you, BJP is not sitting pretty at Uttarakhand. As a political commentator, I would say, you look at this. This is an election which Congress should have won. There is no reason for Congress to lose this election. I go on record to say this because you have had 3 chief ministers. One chief minister had been publicly told by people that worst performing chief minister. There has been resentment against the Devasthanam board. There have been several issues which have been cropping up. It is a local election, and in a local election, Congress cannot and should not have been in the position where they are now looking to be. They have given an election on a platter to BJP. If this comes true, because this is what many people believe, because I believe it's a closer election. In fact, I just had a word with Pradeep Bhandari before I joined your hangout. And I told him that it is going to be closer. He said, can it be more closer than this? And he gave me an example. The next slide will show you why I'm saying it is close. It's so close. You see here, it's a 0.8% gap. Mr. Sri Iyer, you can't ask for a closer election than this, isn't it? It is a cephalogist nightmare. Let me tell you, it is a cephalogist nightmare.
One slip of the tongue and boom, your lead is gone.
Yes, that's why I'm saying it is going to be an election like a Bihar election where you cannot call it till 7:30 in the evening. You got to have your eyes open.
One question that comes up, I'm sorry, I will not disturb you again. AAP seems to have split into Congress vote. AAP seems to have split into Congress vote, at least looking at Uttarakhand numbers.
No, see, AAP has just replaced another entity which was always there in Uttarakhand.
Who is?
BSP was always there in Uttarakhand.
Oh,
BSP used to win 8 seats. BSP won 8 seats in the past. So, the BSP votes have moved towards AAP. If any one of you thinks that, AAP is there was always a space for a third party in Uttarakhand. And that space was never occupied by Samajwadi Party. After the first election itself, which happened, I think, in 2000 change, where Narayan Dutt Tiwari came into power, I think after that it was very clear, 2002 if I'm right, after that it is very clear that there was a space for a third entity and BSP was occupying that. Now, most of the BSP guys have moved towards AAP. Now, that is what has happened. And also independents will play an important role. A lot of independents and, Uttarakhand party. Because any new small state, there will be people who would have fought for those, like say Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, or for that matter, TRS in Telangana. Likewise, you have Uttarakhand Kranti Dal. So all those kind of parties are still existing. So they will take certain vote share. But
have some pockets of influence. Got it.
But a lot of interesting things I'm going to share with you in this particular elections. So if you can have a look back at the slides, I'm going to take you through some very interesting development which is happening. Look at this. This is, in fact, if Modi, if you ask me where is he popular, most popular, it is Uttarakhand. Now, this election will tell you one thing, that if BJP wins, it wins on the face of Narendra Damodar Das Modi. Nothing else. You can't, 69%. Now you see here, is there 69% of people are saying, yes, the schemes have helped. The schemes have helped. But what has not helped, and that is that they're still not angry with Narendra Modi. If you go down, you will notice, which is not there captured in this poll, is as much as schemes have worked in Uttarakhand, connectivity is still a question mark. Infrastructure, the way in which it has worked in neighboring Uttar Pradesh, it has not happened in Uttarakhand. That is because the failure of delivery by the local MLAs, which is what will come out in the next slide. Look at the next slide. That's going to be whopping percentage. 60% is against the MLAs. They're going to punish. If the candidates, even now, if there is a Congress strategist or analyst sitting here and watching this hangout, message to them, if BJP does not change candidates in many seats, Congress still has a chance. If there is a BJP strategist sitting and watching this particular episode, message to them also, you got to make wholesale changes. You make an wholesale changes, then, because only 30% are saying against the party, which is normal, because Congress supporters are not going to be happy with BJP, and Congress does have 39% vote share, so 30%, but it is the local MLA that's going to hurt. Yes, it's you look at it here, the unemployment and migration is a 40% issue. In fact, 47% is what they're saying. Health and water. When we say water, I think a lot of effort has been going into Jal Jeevan there. But being a hilly state, water has always been an issue here. I'm pretty much happy to see a very small figure in terms of 10% as far as inflation is concerned. Education 12%. I think again locally a lot of work needs to be done there. Others are 11. So unemployment and migration, but I am a little surprised with that figure, because unemployment, if you go to unemployment data in Uttarakhand, it is not so bad. What probably then is caused is a lot of people, the COVID has affected this particular state fundamentally because of the migration. When we are talking about migration, if I'm right, that's what I can understand as far as this is concerned, this slide is concerned. Let's go a little further. Yeah. So now when I say Brahmin votes are not always with BJP, people always shout at me saying that how can you say that? It's evident here. Congress still retains 35%, and it's just 45% of the Brahmin vote which BJP is getting. And you would notice very soon that BJP gets bigger vote share from some other community, which will be evident in the next few slides.
Quick question for you. Is Rawat a Brahmin name?
Rajput.
Okay.
He's a Thakur. In fact, if Harish Rawat, if his disappointment continues, then they would continue to lose Rajput votes. So that is why, because BJP has also got a Rajput chief minister. So, but still, I think Rajputs would favor BJP in edge over the Congress. But I think I'm looking at the OBC figure. OBC is what I would like to look at length. Yeah, this is something Udham Singh Nagar, all those places. It's a sweep for Congress in those places because the Sikhs live there. I think here is where they'll have to deploy Amrinder Singh. BJP would have to deploy Amrinder Singh, because Amrinder Singh's value would not only be seen in Punjab, which probably will be lesser, but in places where there is a Sikh voter, I think they would be using him here. So 60%. So 30% means, Muslim, it's a very small percentage, if I'm right. It's not a very big percentage of Muslims, but 85% are going with Congress, 15% with others. So BJP is not getting any Muslim vote here, which is pretty surprising for me. Yeah. You see here SC. Now why? Why is this figure? Because last time Dalits were totally with BJP. That is the reason why they won 57 seats. But this time they moved because there is a talk amongst the circles that Yashpal Arya, who was originally with Congress, moved to BJP, and now has gone back to Congress. Now Yashpal Arya is carrying a lot of Dalit votes back to Congress. That's point number one. Point number two, there are rumors floating around that Yashpal Arya could be a potential chief ministerial candidate. And if that gains ground,
a potential chief ministerial candidate for Congress, right? For Congress.
Yeah, potential chief ministerial candidate for Congress. If that is going to happen, you can see Brahmin and Thakur votes migrating towards BJP. Now, the reason why Rahul Gandhi is skeptical about announcing Harish Rawat as the chief ministerial phase is because he knows if he does that, he will lose SC votes. But Dalits are not in majority as far as Uttarakhand is concerned. They're 18% if I'm right. Now, this is a big thing. Because few months back, first choice as CM was Harish Rawat, which means Pushkar Dhami is doing something right. At last, after say 4.5 years or 4 years, of governance, more than 4 years of governance, finally BJP could find somebody as a CM. This is something which stuns me. A party which actually knows to pick the right candidate. I don't know what they were doing in putting somebody like Trivendra Rawat as the CM candidate, who is extremely unpopular. This is going to be music to the ears of BJP supporters. Because Harish Rawat was having 40%. Now Harish Rawat is having how much percentage? 30%? Yeah, 30%. So there is a 10% decline in Harish Rawat. This was something, why I'm saying it is because in our own Jan Ki Baat poll, in October we released, September we did, Harish Rawat was number 1 and Pushkar Dhami was number 2. Now it has changed. Let's look at the other candidates. The third one, Anil Baloni. Yeah, 20%. Okay, that's fine. Next one. Okay.
Ajay Kotiya.
Yeah, 9%. Fine. I think it settles down. It will be between. I'm surprised that Yashpal Arya is not even there in the list. Okay, but Congress is speculating on those kind of names. So at the end of the day, I think it will be between Harish Rawat and Pushkar Dhami.
These days, campaigning happens at various levels in various ways. They could be going to different communities and whispering in their ears, Yashpal is going to be the CM, but don't tell anyone. And so the general media doesn't know this. These things happen. For instance, Capt has been notoriously famous for wearing a skull cap in one street and wearing a pagdi in the next street, and then putting on tilak on the third street.
Not only putting tilak, sir, they would even chant Hanuman Chalisa in one place, and they would probably read Quran in another place, whatever is comfortable for them.
Well,
right, I just can't wait, Mr. Iyer. I am just excited about the next one because that's the election for me.
Big enchilada, go ahead.
That is something where it's going to be, but I can tell you, within 2 hours of the results, by 10 o'clock on the day of results, you will know exactly what is going to happen in Uttar Pradesh. Probably by afternoon, you will know that it is Ang Assembly in Punjab, and late in the night, you will know about Uttarakhand. I'm telling you right today itself, I will be there with you on the day of counting. But
yes.
Mark my words, you can play this video on that day. By 10 a.m. on the election counting day, you would know who's the CM. Okay, I'm so confident about it. Let's go into
Wonderful. Take it away.
20,000 sample size and a large demography combined with men and women. You will see that little later. So it's a fairly good sample size across regions. Let's get into it. Let's get into the Uttar Pradesh poll. Now, this is big. BJP is returning. I think what Jan Ki Baat has got it right, has got it is the direction right. I would not go by the seats numbers today because I'm going to have my comments reserved. Direction is BJP winning. Point number two, big point number two is SP is coming up. SP is staging a comeback. If these opinion polls are right, BSP, it's going to be a tough time for Mayawati. Ben has been a great lady. Okay, she's been a good chief minister in several counts, particularly in law and order. Because you may disagree with what I'm saying, but this is the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is they will always say Mayawati was better than Akhilesh. Akhilesh was better than Mulayam, but Yogi is better than Mayawati in terms of law and order. So that is what.
So you are assuming a three-way or a four-way contest here?
It is a three-way contest.
Okay.
Who's the fourth?
And how about Congress? Who are they with?
Who are they with? Priyanka Gandhi is with Congress.
No. You said three-way contest, but we are showing Congress numbers separately. So I'm curious if they are going to tie up with either BSP or SP.
No. Neither SP nor BSP will touch Congress with the barge pole.
And they too are not combining either. Yeah, okay.
So, see, I don't think alliances are firmed up right now. It's going to be BJP is going to have Nishad Party, Apna Dal, Anupriya faction, those kind of parties. Samajwadi Party will have Rashtriya Lok Dal, will have Rajbar Party, which is basically the caste of Rajbar, will also have Apna Dal's other faction. So that is another coalition. OIC will be there. He will be fighting in 100 seats. BSP is going to face the election all alone. Congress is going to face the election all alone. That's the situation here. You can see Congress meltdown here. 3-6. Don't be surprised even if 3 is an exaggerated number.
Keep going, sir.
So a 4% gap is what they're projecting. But reason why the 4% is getting captured in Jan Ki Baat, I will tell you. And I will also tell you, because there's some very good insights which I want to share with you. How can this 4% go up to probably 7 or 9%? And when there's a 7 or 9% gap, what is going to happen in terms of seat share? I will tell you, and what BJP would need to do for that is what we're going to discuss. So let's go to the next one. Purvanchal. Now, this is where the battle is. Purvanchal is where the eastern Uttar Pradesh is. It is the place, Mr. Iyer, you have Varanasi, you have Gorakhpur, all those are coming under Purvanchal. Now, what are the two things which are happening in Purvanchal? In Purvanchal, is it a fight as close as what you see here? Yes. There is a local anti-incumbency against the sitting MLAs. Number one. Number two, the second big problem at Purvanchal is it's not about the farmer issue. It is not about the law and order issue. It is about the stray cattle entering into the fields, which is a problem. Now, that has not been addressed by the local MLAs and the councillors. And that's what is reflecting. But will these numbers hold? Or can there be change in these numbers? I'm going to address that as we move along. Let's go to the next region. Purvanchal is 104. Western UP plus bridge. Now, this will show to you what it is. This is where the farmers. Now, Western UP is with Yogi. Look at the gap. The gap is the lowest if it is 84 and 51, which means 61, 71, 81, 33 seats gap. And in Western UP, BSP is not there. It's becoming bipolar here. And RLD is adding its vote here. So the farmers' unhappiness, which is what we talked about, is completely taken off. Western UP plus bridge. Bridge is the place where both sides of Yamuna Basin will be coming into it. That's what is the bridge region for you. Western UP is the bastion of the farmers, the Jats and the RLD, and BJP is doing very well. The next big place, the central Uttar Pradesh.
Sorry, Yogi Adityanath is from the Purvanchal area, right?
Purvanchal. He's from Purvanchal.
Yeah, please
Now,
go ahead.
this is the place where BJP swept. BJP did not even lose a single seat here in 2017. So we're talking about this is a very, very strong place. It's borders with Madhya Pradesh. This is where from Uma Bharti used to come Bundelkhand. Now this is showing very clearly that BJP is sweeping. There is nothing much to gain here. BJP can gain in Purvanchal, but in Bundelkhand, I think they may hold 21, 22. It'll be a sweep by the BJP in Bundelkhand. Let's go to Awadh. In central Uttar Pradesh, again, last time it swept. You have seats like Amethi and all comes here. Amethi, Raebareli. So that is why you'll see 3 to 4. I don't even know Congress. If it has to do something, it is the only place where Congress has got some presence. And here again is a bipolar. And here you will also have Muslim-dominated seats in this particular area also, as a result of which SP is coming into the fray. And you have others, and it would be interesting if MIM is going to pick any seats from this area. If at all it happens, MIM could pick up seats in this area. Now, this is big. I thought Uttarakhand was bigger. No, it's UP which is big. And I think the PM schemes have had an effect, whether it is street vendor loan, or it is the road connectivity, or for that matter, the toilet, or the Ujjwala scheme. I think every scheme which Prime Minister Modi envisaged had been delivered by Modi. And that's the reason why, by Yogi, sorry. That's the reason why you will have 75-25. It's a huge thumbs up. In fact, Modi at his best was having 72%, but here it's 75%. That speaks volume. And I think UP is a double engine effect, which is what we are seeing. Can we go to the next one? It's about Yogi. Yes, that's a good number actually. 52% are happy with Yogi's government. Now, Mr. Iyer, I want to know, if they're happy with the Yogi government, 52%, why not all of them vote to BJP?
Yeah, well, it's 1 in 2, right? But the problem with first past the post is, you have all these voting blocks. Some of them vote en masse in a certain direction, which is not good for democracy. You are assuming a statistical distribution that is random, but it doesn't happen. Correct. So, and this is where the voter needs to introspect. By giving so many votes to Samajwadi Party, what does he gain? This is not good enough, because these people have delivered. Yogi has delivered, and Modi has been 100% behind him. In fact, if I have to look at India, just 1 minute, right? If I have to look at India, Maharashtra is becoming a bit untenable as a place where you can do a lot of thriving industries, and you're seeing a gentle but firm shift towards UP. Those people don't have to go back to Maharashtra for their jobs in a post-COVID world. Those jobs might be in UP itself. Samsung has put up a huge plant in Noida, and there's a big international airport coming. I'm not a BJP member. I don't carry a card for anyone, but I'm seeing this definite growth in UP potential. Somebody who's very positive. They're also encouraging English study in the school so that the kids are ready to enter the job market whenever they are ready. So there's a lot of positives that Yogi Adityanath has done. I think at the time of putting your vote, pressing the button, there may be some people changing their mind. This is my take. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Iyer. In fact, that's the reason why I brought you into this discussion, because I wanted this particular thing to be done. 48% are not going to vote for Yogi. That is sure. Of those people are going to come to the voting booth. But I'm expecting bigger than 39%. That's the reason why I'm saying. I'm saying that even some of the Muslims are going to vote for BJP. Mark my words. These numbers, the opinion polls are capturing, because there is a reason for it. There is a reason why these numbers are holding today. But these numbers will not hold as we move towards the election, because the next slide will show to you what I mean and why I say what I say. Okay, not this slide, the next one. The polarization effect will be there, because I think it's an heavily polarized state. It is a polarized state because Muslims have a large population and people have voted based on caste. So we should know. I think at this point in time, I need to bring in certain elements, truth to the viewers here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Congress, the traditional vote bank of Congress in UP was Muslims, Dalit, and upper caste, which is the Brahmin. And if you noticed, a lot of the chief ministers of Uttar Pradesh had come from the Brahmin family. Muslims, Dalits, and the Brahmins. Now, what has happened over a period of time? 1989 onwards, there is a shift. Now, why is it that they went to these things? Because Uttar Pradesh has got a large population of Dalit, a large population of Muslim, a large population of Brahmins. But the OBCs were scattered. You will have, 9% of Yadav, you will have 2% of Jat, you will have 3% of Kurmis, just giving you examples of Patels. Likewise, you will have a lot of these small packets, Nishads. Now, what happened? Congress did a easier route, the path of least resistance. If I pick up the dominant Brahmin vote and even the Rajput vote, pick up the Dalit vote, which is a big one, and the Muslim vote, it's a very strong coalition. 1989, this coalition was broken. Why? Janata Dal at that point of time became an attractive destination for the Muslims. Then BPC was also a Rajput. Chandrasekhar was also a Rajput. Rajputs also went with them. Brahmins during the height of Ram Mandir movement moved towards BJP. So it became a Brahmin Baniya party. Dalits slowly started migrating into the BSP because Kanshiram and Mayawati stood for that. Now, once this happened, it's Kel Khatam Dukan Band. Because I'm giving you a pakka analysis of what happened historically. And Congress has never been able to recover from UP basically because they lost all the three at a single shot. Now, again, if you look at it, the coalition built by Vajpayee Advani was not a very stable coalition. That caste coalition did not work wonders. It was called Mandal versus Kamandal. 1996 and 1998, they peaked. But 1999 election itself, you go and look at Uttar Pradesh elections, BJP would have suffered its jolt. Because they had a very small coalition. Even Rajputs were moving towards Samajwadi Party. That's when Samajwadi Party came into existence. Janata Dal became Samajwadi Party. Now, post that, in UP, Congress has been declining. And what has happened is, the Mayawati's rule showed the mirror to the people of UP. I'm sorry if I'm taking a lot of time, but I want to explain it clearly.
Take all the time.
But for the Jatav people belonging to the Dalits, others felt marginalized because plum positions went to Jatav. Because in 2007, BJP lost even the Brahmin vote because Brahmins went towards Mayawati. Brahmins went towards Mayawati, Dalits went towards Mayawati, and part of Muslims also went to Mayawati. So that's the reason why 2007 was an election where BJP was nowhere. People will think that what has happened? Now, lot of the small OBCs who will constitute 4%, 7%, 8%, 9%, they were all neglected, marginalized, both by Mayawati and by Akhilesh. Non-Jatav Dalits were marginalized. In comes Amit Shah in 2012, after the elections. And UP, for the first time, realizes that they have a backward class prime minister candidate who could become the voice for the non-Yadav OBC, including Jats. Now, then in 2014 elections, this OBC vote went towards Modi. This Rajput votes went towards Modi. Part of Brahmin vote, I'm not saying entire Brahmin vote, part of Brahmin vote went towards Modi. But once the government started functioning, the non-Yadav OBC, non-Jatav SC is such a strong number, and every scheme of Modi was directly addressed towards non-Yadav. And Yadav also was included, but Yadavs felt that no, I'm not going to vote for them. Many of them were addressed to the Dalit and the OBCs of Uttar Pradesh. Ujala scheme, toilet scheme. Dalits have not seen toilet. Mayawati built roads, Mayawati built statues, but she did not give toilet to the Dalit. She did not give gas stove to the Dalit. She did not let the children go to school because law and order was not there properly. Now, Yogi plus Modi has built a very strong coalition of non-Yadav OBC, non-Jatav SC, plus the other Hindu communities, which is what is called by Dr. Praveen Patel as the USHV, United Spectrum of Hindu Voters. Because Yadav clan, that is Samajwadi Party, tries to polarize every election into Hindu, Muslim. So Muslim goes to Samajwadi Party along with Yadav. But now Akhilesh realizes that it is too late. It is too late, but he's realizing that, and he's also going in for smaller communities. But I think they're firmly with Narendra Modi and Yogi. That is why you're seeing these numbers. Thank you, Mr. Iyer, for giving me this opportunity to speak at length on why. And Congress can never recover because it cannot get back this vote back.
And one observation here, we'll go back to the rest of the slideshow. One observation here is that if somebody wants to get a particular segment of the vote, usually what they'll say is, we will declare a deputy chief minister in this particular community. Mayawati did that to Brahmins. Do you think Samajwadi Party might have some trick up their sleeve to do something like that?
No, I don't think so. Because see, even if they got the BC vote, they got it. Samajwadi Party, when they got to power, they had two important things. They had Beni Prasad Verma as a tall leader, BC leader. Now he's not there. And they've not found a replacement for him. For Rajput, they had Amar Singh. No, they don't have. For Brahmin, Mayawati had Satish Chandra Mishra, who was the number 2 in the party. Okay. Now, but still, you see, you can't just give a representation. Because what Modi has done is, Modi has empowered Dalits. Modi has empowered OBCs. Modi has delivered to Nishats. Now, when that be the case, I don't think anybody else can even do that. This appointing one guy as MLA or MP or ministers is not enough. That's also important. But you need to deliver and empower people. He has delivered to toilets to SCs. So that is what is going to matter. See, because look at it, 10,000 rupees, the street vendor loan. No, a Rajput or a Brahmin is not a street vendor. Invariably. It's a Dalit or a backward who's a street vendor. And it is going and directly hitting his bank account. Farmer, he's getting 6,000 rupees per year. So these are things which are going to matter in the coming election.
Okay, so let's get back to the anti-incumbency. Is this, which state? Did I get it right? Hang on.
Yes, UP, yeah, exactly. You're right.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
So now, from 2007, no, see, because Modi wins election, not because of anything else, but because he understands politics better than anybody else. I don't think anybody understands politics in the world the way Modi understands politics. And that is the reason why he keeps winning elections. 2007, he said, there is no anti-incumbency against the government, but there is anti-incumbency against MLAs. So I will change MLAs. Now you're going to see this happening. If the candidates are going to be changed at least in 100 constituencies, I'm saying 100 constituencies or 70 to 80 constituencies, the percentage will go up. Because against the government, 31% is your Yadav, your Jatav, who have a problem with Yogi. Because Yogi has addressed law and order. So anybody who does not want a proper law and order will be against this government. Okay. But no anti-incumbency, 27%. That's a big number. And add to that, if the candidate's anti-incumbency can be addressed by means of changing candidates, you will have a different story altogether. And this election would have a different result altogether. And added to that is going to be, the male were 52 and females were 48 in the sample, and 75 districts and 403 constituencies. This is what is the opinion poll, and this is where you're going to get some numbers which no other opinion poll would have shown you, and which is what you're going to see in Uttar Pradesh from the next slide onwards. There is 24% of people are going to vote based on caste and religion, 23% on based of development. Law and order and safety is going to be 21%, which means that 21% is going to go in favor of Modi and Yogi. Benefits from scheme 16%, that is again going to go for Modi and Yogi. So which means 21 plus 16 is 27. Inflation is going against 37. Yeah, 37. And that's your solid vote bank. Okay. Now, then you are talking about inflation, 10%. Again, this is an issue. Inflation means what people are saying is petrol prices have gone up, diesel prices have gone up, but I think it has been reduced again by the Modi government and Yogi government. So up to an extent, it can be addressed. But there is another complaint which is there in UP, which is people saying that cash is not there in hand. That's an issue. Unemployment is only 5%, which I think is an absolutely manageable one. And Ram Mandir is not getting echo. It's just 1% which is getting echo of Ram Mandir. That's what are the leading factors as far as this election is concerned. I think we'll get into the caste part of it, caste composition in the next slide, which is going to be interesting. Yes. Now, so mark these numbers. Non-Yadav OBC is 34%. We'll be back and forth coming here. Muslims 18%. Brahmin 11%. Jatav 11%. And Jatav is where Mayawati comes from. And it is her vote bank. Yadav is 9%. This is what is. So that's why, you're having non-Yadav OBC, non-Jatav SC. That is where you will have. So Yadav is 9%, which is going to SP. Non-Jatav SC is 9%. Rajput is 7%, where I think Yogi Adityanath will be there right away there, and others 1%. So if you look at it, my theory earlier was how Congress won UP was they had Muslim, which is 18%, plus Brahmin 11%, plus Jatav 11%, plus non-Jatav 9%, plus even Rajput, which meant they almost had 56% of vote bank in their favor. Out of those 56, they used to consistently get 43, 45. That is why UP was tough. Now, Ram Manohar Logia tried, Charan Singh tried, VP Singh tried outside Congress, but none could. Now, this is something I think all of us must have a snapshot or screenshot of this particular thing. Now, let us look at which percentage of BJP is getting non-Yadav, 19.46%. Can it go up? Can we go to the earlier slide a little bit? Because I want to analyze on a detailed one. So, 19.46 divided by 34. So, 57% of non-Yadav OBCs are voting for BJP, Mr. Iyer.
Yes.
It's a big number. It's a big number. Okay. Now the next one. So which means 57% of non-Yadav OBC is firmly with BJP. Now Brahmins. So 57% you're talking about. Brahmins, I think 50% of Brahmins should be with BJP or less than that. 5.6 divided by 11.
50%.
Yeah, 50% of Brahmins or so that's what I'm saying. BJP is today a more OBC party than even a Brahmin party. Next, you will have Rajput, 5.7%. I think this is going to be a big one. Rajputs are 7%, and they're getting Rajputs. 81% of Rajputs are with BJP, which means with Yogi. Now, you look at non-Jatav SCs, which is getting 4.5. So 4.5 divided by 9. Again, 50% of non-Jatav SCs are with BJP. Now look at the kind of, this cannot be happening otherwise. Jatav even is getting, Jatav votes they're getting, which is extremely interesting. So Jatav, 20% of 21% of Jatav votes is coming towards the BJP. And you will find here, because Muslim is 0.18 divided by 18 if I'm right. So it's a very small number, 0.01% of Muslims. And same way, 0.9 divided by 9, 0.1% of Yadav.
That's 10%.
Yeah. Is it right? Yeah, 10%. 10% of Yadav. Yeah.
And Muslim is 1%.
1% of Muslim. Correct. And others. So it's a very strong coalition. Now, can non-OBC vote, non-Yadav OBC increase towards BJP? There is a potential. Can Brahmin vote increase? There is a potential. Rajput, I think they've already got the saturation. Can non-Jatav SC get up more? I think there is a potential. Jatav, I think 22.2%, 21% should be fine enough. And Muslim, and so I see another 3 to 4% chance of BJP going up. What would you say, Mr. Iyer, on my analysis?
Well, I think they've taken the bad news out of the way. They've gotten the bad news out of the way, which was the farmer loss, which could have affected Lakhimpur area, just a very small area. I think the good news is beginning in terms of growth as an industrial powerhouse of a state. This is a new thing. Right. Roads have been laid. Power structure is there, and incentives are being laid out. A new airport is being built. I mean, these are all, foundational stones for people to understand. Look, all these things are going to result in a lot of jobs. So I think this part, if BJP can communicate effectively in Braj Bhasha, Awadhi Bhasha, there are lots of dialects, guys. It's not Hindi alone. This is Hindi belt, but everybody has a slightly different, charming accent here. And Braj Bhasha is different. They use words differently. It's beautiful the way you listen to those people speak. You'll understand what they're saying, but it's different. So if BJP can effectively communicate this, I think there's a gold mine for BJP to harvest. That's what I feel looking at these numbers. Sreeram, thank you so much for doing this thing. If you'd like to add something in conclusion, maybe you can go. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. We'll have to look at the SP calculation because just to go a little slide, earlier slide.
Yeah.
So you see, where is it getting? They're getting 16% of Muslim votes, which means out of the 18%. So why I'm saying it is, why I'm seeing that this is the stretch. What Pradeep and team has done is, they have stretched to the maximum what Samajwadi Party can get. Because 16.1 divided by 18, which is 90% according to this particular opinion poll, Muslims are voting for Samajwadi Party. Same way, 8.1 divided by 9, 90% of Yadav is voting. So I feel with 90% of Muslim and 90% of Yadav voting in favor of Samajwadi Party, I don't see Samajwadi Party's vote share going up from here.
They are maxed out.
They're maxed out. It can't go beyond this. Okay. And so as a result of which, let's also look at the BSP vote share quickly, because how much of Jadhav she's getting. Yeah. She's getting almost half of the Jadhav vote, 50%. So it is becoming, so she's attracting a lot of Brahmin vote, if you see. 25% of Brahmin vote.
Why do we find that phenomenon in UP?
See, I think, she has made a very calculated thing of addressing certain important issues as far as Brahmin is concerned by giving importance. And there are Brahmins who are anti-BJP. I make it a point. I don't know what's the reason. There are certain Brahmins who don't like BJP. Very simple. It is across the country. And they don't like Modi also. In fact, probably they were the ones who used to like Vajpayee, but not the present BJP they don't like. So, to me, I think we should also show one more thing. Congress vote share should be shown to people.
Yes, there you go.
So, you see for yourself, my dear friends, where are they getting votes? Where are they getting? Here was a party which used to thrive on Muslims, Brahmin, and Dalit. And this is the fate of Congress today. And this is the fate of Congress in UP. There are a lot of people who can come on TV and say, no, the elections in UP, Congress will make a comeback. What comeback? They've lost in a secular manner, in a sector agnostic manner, caste agnostic manner, they've lost. So that is what. So now here comes my final thoughts. Others is fine. And others you will find that, it's a non-Yadav OBC whom others are getting, the small parties, independents. So to me, Mr. Iyer, if I had to conclude, BJP has the potential to, 55% is Chief Minister's faces Mr. Yogi. 52% they would like to see him come back. 55% is the rating. What is Akhilesh? Should be around 31. 31. That's his core vote bank. Mayawati, 10. That's her core vote bank. Jadhav. Priyanka Gandhi. Any words, Mr. Iyer?
I'm at a loss for words. All that rattling and trying to create waves going nowhere.
This is the Indian political league. Yeah. So that's it for.
If you ask me, one problem with the Gandhi children is lack of genuineness. Genuineness means you don't have to say correct words every time. You have to show it in your body language. You have to show it in your kindness, that you really care with people. People connect body language much better than, language. Everybody knows, we are all in different levels in terms of speaking Hindi or English or Awadhi, whatever you call it. I mean, we all think that we are saying the right things, but things get messed up. So this is where the problem is. The lack of genuineness is really, there's a sense of entitlement that's coming out more than the lack of genuineness. That's how I see it. But please continue. You have more to say.
I have a last final points here is that I am personally feeling that BJP will do much better than what the numbers are shown in the opinion poll. Fundamentally because the popularity of Yogi is very high. Modi's schemes have reached people. And number 3, there is local anti-incumbency, which I think Modi knows how to manage the local anti-incumbency. When I say manage, he may replace. He may just say 50, 70, 100. No. And when that happens, I have a gut feeling that BJP will do better than 2017. It will be doing almost equal to what they did in 2014, which means the upper limit I would give for BJP, upper limit is 357 seats. Okay. Today, is it happening? No. It is not. But can it happen? Yes. Today, we are not talking on those lines because candidates have not been announced. once the candidates are announced, I feel we can come to a better conclusion. Sorry. So
absolutely, yeah.
Uttar Pradesh BJP, Punjab, it's going to be an Ang assembly. Uttarakhand is a close fight. Mark my words, if anybody says BJP will sweep Uttarakhand, they're lying. It's a danger zone for BJP in Uttarakhand. They cannot relax. Congress can win and form the government in Uttarakhand, but candidate selection is going to play a very important role. And last one I would like to say, in Uttarakhand, I'm giving a strategy for both. If Congress has to win the election, they have to make it as local as possible. The more local they make it, easier it will be for them to win. In Uttarakhand, for BJP, they have to make it a Modi election. The more they make it as a national or a Modi election, they will win. Interesting times ahead. I'm looking forward to it. I'll keep up.
We haven't touched on one little thing before you go. One little thing. In Uttarakhand, we saw that Harish Rawat was actually spending time trying to patch up in Punjab. Let's say Harish Rawat decides to have his own party, just like the way Captain Amrinder Singh has done in Punjab. How do you see all these equations change?
See, I don't think Harish Rawat is going to start a party, although we have heard a rumor about that. So the question you asked, hypothetical, but let me answer. If Harish Rawat is forming a party, BJP will comfortably cross 45. There is no doubt about that. But will he or won't he is a big question mark. That's why I said Rajputs, he's also a Rajput, he's getting that support. But infighting could also be there in Congress.
Well, we have to remember that Amit Shah is a modern day Machiavelli. You never know who's with him, who's against him, who's talking for him, who's working for him, who's working against him. Correct. With that, I think we've done a really very in-depth look at these three states. Thanks to your help, you put together a beautiful, this is Jan Ki Baat. Pradeep, thank you very much. And thanks for giving us the opportunity to use this thing to form the basis for this talk. And as always, viewers, please like, share, and join PGurus channel, and it will help us grow this thing. We are very serious about giving you good quality content, and with stalwarts like JVC Sreeram, you have a treat for the eyes and the ears. Thank you very much, JVC, and we'll be back again very soon.
Thank you very much. I would like to place a special mention of thanks to Pradeep Bhandari, Jan Ki Baat, and the entire team of people on the field and on the ground and on the analysis and putting up all the data. Thanks a lot for every one of you. Thanks to viewers. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay. Thank you very much. Looking forward to you in another show. Thank you.
And thank you very much. Namaskar.
Namaskar.